as we said, the name of this program is Energy Efficiency and Climate Action Education, the E2CA. And we're just launching this program as a joint venture, as I mentioned. And, you know, there's a lot of reasons why we would want to do this, and I'll get into that a little bit. But mainly it helps schools, the environment, and it empowers students. And it's really becoming those energy efficiency experts and future energy managers for their school and or community. It's really about developing competencies, innovative mindsets, and some of those skills that are needed in the workplace, and preparing for careers in a low carbon economy, which seems to be where the future is going. Really driving down the use of electricity. That's kind of the focus right now, but then with some technology, there's also that potential for natural gas and water measurement as well. And it can be at school, and then it transfers into the home, and also opportunity for in their community. And really the goal is looking at reducing greenhouse gases, utility bills, and those carbon levy payments that, yes, school divisions have to pay as well. So why this program? One of the things with energy, teaching energy, and I've been doing kind of that energy and environmental piece for a long time. And energy is just that piece. It's not really tangible. I'm not really sure if I still understand the flow of electrons in copper wires. There's a lot of complexity with there, and it's just not really that tangible. So by leveraging technology, we can make energy more visible. And through that technology, it can link to that real-time data with online dashboards showing electricity consumption. So you can turn things on, the students can see exactly how much that's using, and you can shut it off. And so it allows that analysis. And then what Green Learning and ACE are doing is really building the lesson plans to help understand that how energy is used, and really challenging them to take action in their school to reduce energy consumption and greenhouse gas emissions. We're also going to be linking and having access to energy management professionals as mentors. So, you know, once these students start seeing energy and they start coming up with great ideas on things that they can do, having those energy management professionals just work with them and test some of their ideas and thinking about these things. And then we'll have an online impact center to showcase and share accomplishments. And that's the piece, especially when it comes to education. And we work in the nonprofit world, and you know, there's lots of people that support this kind of work, from corporations to foundations to government. And they're always like, well, what difference does education make when it comes to, you know, reducing greenhouse gases and things like that? So showing that impact is really important as well. And why this real-time energy monitoring? So what is energy monitoring? And that's kind of the technology piece. It's really the analysis of energy usage to make decisions and take action to identify energy and cost-saving opportunities. And that's where your whole facilities side in your school divisions are really aware of this, and something that they're always striving to do as well. And at a glance, you can see the inefficiencies, and students can act as those energy managers to make suggestions. And this was something that I found in just looking about energy monitoring. You can't manage what you don't measure. So if you don't know how much energy you're using, how can you manage that? And so it's really showing those results and supporting students for long-term action. So the role of ACE and Green Learning. So our role here in Alberta is to really support the Alberta pilot schools, which may be some of you, providing some professional learning for pilot schools, and promoting and supporting implementation then with all Alberta schools. And Marcus, if you just want to talk about the role of Green Learning, and then, you know, say a few things, and then stay on as long as you want after that, that would be great.
Sure, Kathy, let me jump in there. I mean, I think Green Learning's core belief is that students learn best by doing. And and as part of that, we develop activities and challenges that can engage children in sort of active learning. As a part of that, it's obviously critical to be able to support the teachers in providing that material. So we produce modules which are one-stop shops for subject areas that include teacher support, teacher guides, student guides, curriculum linkages, and activities that are often geared to specific grade levels. So at a glance, you can see what you can do at what level. So we will be developing, in conjunction with this pilot, support materials for teachers in this area. That will be the core of our work. And we'll be what we already do and have online is a large network or a large group menu of items and modules that are already linked to green energy, sustainability, and green economics. So there's already a lot of material we have, but we want to custom build a bunch of modules to support this initiative directly, and then we'll take that across the country. We're also working with TRCA, which is it's an entity in Ontario that's responsible for managing all the watersheds from a flood perspective, but they have a very strong environmental bent to their work, and they have a large facility where they bring schools in for 2 or 3 days, and they work with them developing environmental programs or working on environmental programs and activities. And so this will be piloted with 30 schools in Ontario this summer and fall and winter. So we'll work with both of these programs to develop in essence, to develop the support materials for teachers. There's a couple of levels this could be engaged at. We can be developing modules for teachers and clubs and facilities that help them build this into their school as a legacy project. And we will be developing materials that might be more digestible in a short term, 1 day or 2 day lessons and lesson plans and activities as well. So we hope to have a menu of options that a teacher can look at. But for the purpose of this seminar or for this workshop, where I guess we are looking to find schools and teachers and clubs that are interested in actually installing the energy management technology and using that as a way to generate raw data. Then we can take that data and those exercises and activities, and we can project them out as proxy data for schools that aren't wired up as you would be, and also a way to, in our impact center, to sort of showcase what your schools do and what your students do and what you find. So that would probably sum up, in essence, what we're trying to do with this project. So we'll be supporting and expanding this across the country, and based on the work that you do over the next year.
Do you want to talk about the potential new name, or is that?
Oh yes. Okay. So just so at this point we can leave the E2CA behind, and after many months of discussions and for browse and focus groups, we've decided on Energy Revealed ! As the title for this project. So we hope that it fits everybody's needs and nobody has to learn acronyms that they can't understand. And we'll work on the tagline, but we think this is really a good, simple way of describing what this project will be all about. Thanks, Kathy, for that prompt. And so from now on, we're just going to call this Energy Revealed.
Yes. So there'll be a little bit of lag time on getting websites renamed and things like that. But and if you have any questions, just jot them down for now, and then we'll get to them all at the end. And then Marcus, you can stay on as long as you want, and if you just give a wave when you leave, that's fine. So thanks for sitting in for a little bit. So the next thing I'm going to show you is just it's a short video clip on one of the schools that actually did an install with circuit meters, and it's just chatting. The teacher talks a little bit about how they used it, and then just a conversation with students about the impact it had with them. So I'll just show this short little video clip, and Marcus, if you can't hear the sound, let me know, okay?
Will do.
The Alberta Council for Environmental Education and Green Learning Canada are working together to bring the Energy Efficiency and Climate Action program to schools. The program enhances learning about energy by accessing technology that makes energy visible. Aurora Academic Charter School installed circuit meters that allow students to access, compare, and analyze real-time energy data. They can see how much energy is being used at any given time. We visited the school to learn more about how they're using this technology to enhance student learning and the impact it had on students.
All right, so now the circuit meter is connected to the foods lab. So the devices and the electrical outlets here are connected to a different software. So and you see stove 2.
The power once Mr. Dang turned it on.
Yeah, you can see how it shut up. And let me turn it off. Watch the graph in real time. Watch the graph just draft. So we're going to plug it in, turn it on maximum for 15 minutes, and they're going to look, and each of the groups are going to look at these graphs and watch the graph generate themselves in real time. So while they're doing that, they're going to be calculating how many kilowatt hours this thing is using up, and then multiplied by the ongoing electrical rate.
Specifically with the circuit meter, it was a lot about exactly how much power household items use, especially appliances, as most of us were pretty oblivious to it. We just turn it on and just let it do its thing, but now now we're getting a lot more aware, and I found that most of us were like, whoa, okay, this has an impact on our parents and the environment. So I think that overall it made us more wary, but it also taught us exactly how much power we generally use in a day, just maybe even like 5 minutes, just turning on the stove or, yeah.
We're inviting Alberta Schools to apply to bring this program to your school. We have funds to support the purchase and installation of technology, as well as teacher release for professional learning, and will provide learning resources. Check out the website for more information and to apply. The deadline is May 25th. So that video, you can see this, they had a food labs in their school, and at the beginning you could see the circuit panel, and then those black boxes were the circuit meters that were attached to that. So they just did it with their food labs, and they did it with they combined a grade 8 math and science class, and then they had students bring in different appliances and they tested things out. So one of the pieces that we do with the schools is kind of figuring out where you want the technology installed, as to kind of optimize the learning opportunities as well as some efficiency opportunities within the school as well. So that's part of the, once schools are accepted, that'll be kind of the an assessment piece with the school and discussion with the school. And they're now using it with their grade 9s and their grade 5s as well, and they might even do some work with younger grades. So with the E2CA, if your school is accepted, we have obviously limited resources. So depending on how many schools apply and what schools can bring, we're trying to optimize the dollars and spread them as far as we can. But there's the technology purchase and installation. And once the technology is installed in the school, then it does belong to the school and can stay there as long as you want. The teacher professional learning, so we will provide 1 day of teacher release, and that will be to attend some learning. And then we're also going to be doing an annual conference, and you'll get a reduced fee to attend the conference. You'll have access to all the learning resources and for energy efficiency education and use of technology. And you also heard Marcus mention that, there's kind of at what depth do you want to go with this? For schools, they can kind of choose that, whether it's, I only have 3 lessons that I have time for, or if you're doing it with a club and it's going to be more ongoing, or you're going to do it as a project-based learning and doing some cross-curricular. So there's, you will be able to make some of those decisions. With the pilot, I would assume we would want you to be using it for 3 to 5 class periods, just to be able to provide some of that feedback and to test some of the lessons. And then again, I said you'd have that access to the energy management professionals as mentors. And so if you are interested in applying, what is your commitment? Well, it's actively engage students in the program. It's supporting the installation of technology and the use of the software. It's using the pilot resources and providing feedback. It's capturing and showcasing your work in the Impact Center. And that's it's not like a huge piece. It's basically making some of the assumptions and with the data and the actions that you've taken at your school, and to participate in evaluation. That'll be some short surveys and possibly an interview.
Kathy, can I just jump in here for just a quick sec?
Yep.
So in terms of the Impact Center or evaluation, these things are kind of combined. Green learning, and especially for this project, we feel it's extremely important to take a pilot and learn as much as we can in terms of how we can best support teachers. I feel we understand how difficult and challenging your job can be. And so it's really important for us to learn from each activity or program or module that we develop and get a sense of how we can improve it as we expand. So that is part of the Impact Center, because as you generate experiences or content or whatever, having that come to us gives us a sense of how the material is being used and what it can generate, how it can be improved. So that is something that we feel is really important, but it shouldn't be made arduous. It's something we'll build into the program itself and into the modules itself. So that it's not like you have to, at the end of it, do a huge survey. It's built into the content so that it's an ongoing thing.
And the Impact Center may be just taking, like I said, the data from your school and just putting a little bit more about what you did with it. It's not going to be an arduous process as well. So these are some of the important dates. Application deadline, May 25th. And then we'll notify schools June 1st. And then there's that chance just for a little bit of that back and forth, making sure, you understand the installation piece and the facility managers, just making sure we've got that all lined up. So you have that little bit of time to say, yes, for sure we're in. And then kind of installing the technology by October 15th, and then doing the lessons sometime in the school year, depending on if you're on a semester system or whether it'll be a full year program. And then just a little bit, I mentioned that, we have a certain amount of funds for the technology portion and the teacher release. So we're trying to maximize those funds to support as many schools as possible. So we kind of talk about having a little bit of skin in the game. So, and so part of that is, to be successful, you will need the support of your facilities side and administrators in your school. So showing this is important. So as part of the application, there is submitting a letter of support from your principal, just saying, yes, we know about this and we're on board. And if your school division or school can also provide some dollars for the program as well, we just would like to know that. So if you've got, if you've been very good at applying for other grants and of some grants, whether it's BPA Plus for Energy or Devon or Alberta Emerald or whatever those grants are, if there's something that you feel that, oh yeah, we would be interested in putting some dollars towards this. And it could be additional dollars that, we're going to be able to put in a kind of a basic level of monitoring. So if your school says, oh, well, we want to monitor this and this and this, then those are additional dollars. And if you want to do that. So just kind of saying we're kind of trying to be flexible with this as much as possible. And like I said, to try and support as many schools as we can. So the application process, you may have taken a peek at it already, but it's pretty simple. It's teacher and school information. Then there's your 6 questions about the subjects and grades, involvement of other teachers, the support you have, if you are able to or think you might be able to do some additional financial support, brief description of what you think you'll do with this, and then your commitment and the letter of support from your principal. And the link to the application is found on the ABCEE/E2CA website. About the technology, there are a variety of technology providers, and so some school divisions may have some things already in place, and so we're certainly willing, to use that technology if it's already in place, and help your school better use that technology. But we're looking at something that allows students to have that real-time access to data. It must do electricity, natural gas and water are optional. And we want that data to be able to show usage at a more individual appliance or circuit level, because that's when the students can really see, when something's turned on or off, what it's actually using for energy. And so that online dashboard for students to access, so they can do some of that analysis and try different types of reporting and things like that. The technology provider must provide some of that training for the schools just on the basic use of that technology. And some of the examples that we're looking at, Circuit Meter is one. It's a company based out of Toronto, and then Green Planet Energy Analytics is a company in Alberta that's doing the installation and running the tech, they're a franchise, right? They've purchased the license to sell that here in Alberta. And then there's real-time monitoring alarming through Solution 105, and we're exploring others as well. But just to give you a sample of that technology, so this is what Circuit Meter looks like. So you can see on the left, that's your circuit meter, or sorry, your panel, your circuit panel, and there's nothing connected to it. And then on the right, that's what it looks like once the circuit meter has been installed. So you can see it looks like there's an Ethernet connection, the blue, and then there's a little plug-in as well.
Kathy, can I just jump in here just before I head out? I just wanted to reinforce the fact that so what we've learned is that some boards, some schools may already have this energy management technology, as you mentioned, Kathy. So that's good. That's fine. If so, then sign up, and we will also be able to support you with the educational materials and the modules and the activities. So that wouldn't mean you would be excluded from the program as a whole. It would mean that you could absolutely participate and still be a part and still get the benefit of all the materials without having to go through that installation process. If you don't, then ACE is there to fill that void and make sure that you can get it, you can participate at that level should you want to. So on that note, I'm going to head out, but thank you so much, and I hope to see you guys in this project, because it's very exciting. It's going to be a lot of fun. So, ciao, everybody.
Bye. Okay. Thanks, Marcus. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Kathy. Talk to you soon.
So this is just an example, and it's really hard to read these, but the students can create all kinds of different reports. This one is on energy use by equipment. So they could see, there's a clothes dryer. They could see stoves at station 1, station 2, station 3. So they could really take a look at the energy use, and they could do it by a month. They can do it by a day. And actually, just in working with a few schools with the dashboard, the students have no fear of creating reports and trying a bunch of different ways of creating reports and testing that out. This is carbon consumption, so this just shows how much CO2 then is emitted by each one. And then you can get down to looking at just the amps, and you get your amps and your voltage and different things that you can measure too. But this is the amps of a refrigerator. So it really shows, that refrigerator may be on all the time, but that motor and that refrigerator is cycling, right? It's on for a bit and then it's off, and it's on and it's off. So it really kind of makes that much more understandable for the students as well. I'll just go back to greenlearning.ca. This is their website. You can see they've got a little bit of information about E2CA. They've got a flood ed program. They've got Location Matters, which is kind of really looking at where you live. They've also got a solar oven and energy challenge that they run each year, and I'm not sure if the deadline has come for that. They've got a great an electricity unit for grade 5. They got an ecosystems unit for kind of that grade 7 level, and a lot of they have a e-cards one where students can learn about different types of energy and write their own e-card messages. So lots of great resources. They've also got green economics, lending a hand, where students get to be kind of micro funders for a project. So lots of really great modules that you can check out at any time. And then just to let you know that, you know, as a nonprofit, we do need funding for programs. So Energy Efficiency Alberta, NMAX, and the Ivy Foundation are supporting this work with ACE and Green Learning.